So good evening, everyone. Maazi Ezeoke here. This evening, we will be looking into the closure of the Onitsha main market by His Excellency, the Governor of Anambra State, Professor Governor Chuguma Charles Soludo, who has ordered a one-week closure of the Onitsha main market starting from January 26th, that is 2 days ago, on Monday, the 26th of January 2026, after traders defied the state directive to operate fully on Mondays. In his argument, that is in the continuing the IPOP linked sit-at-home practice, which the government views as economic sabotage, costing billions weekly. In his address today, uh, Governor Soludo doubled down on the directive that he issued on Monday, stating no retreat, warning of escalation. Example, he said that 1 month closure will be next if no compliance on February 2. Next Monday is going to be February 2nd, and he wants that if by Monday, if the market does not comply by opening the market, that he's going to be issuing a 1 month. Then with a potential takeover revocation of shops for persistent defaulters and framing it as essential for restoring law, order, economic sanity, and the future of Anambra children. As we all know, that since 2 days ago, in various groups that we all belong, there has been mixed reactions. Supporters from, example, the market leaders or Hanese faction, some criticizing or critics from IPOP traders and groups like ACCI calling for reversal of such due to what they tagged as hardship. If we take a look at this, you would understand that this is one action that has divided the state. Many of folks, myself included, are of the opinion that if the state or if the people of Anambra in the last 5 years, every single Monday, if you do the math, is going to give you about 261 days. That if in the last 5 years, people have been closing their shops without necessarily coming out to trade, that, 6 days, if 261 days didn't kill, then 6 days would not. The question is, and that is, I totally agree with this argument and postulation, if they are going to open, that the government must provide security. Of course, I believe that is one thing that is needed. When people are to go out on Mondays, there should be adequate security. However, in the address of the government, of the governor today, he actually posited by saying that if you are afraid to come to the market to trade, but you are not afraid to stay on the street to play football, it it makes one to think, is it a case of insecurity really, or a case of sabotage? I do have the commissioner, honorable commissioner of information of Anambra State here with me, Dr. Lom Mefon, who is going to join me once more here. Dr. Mefon, honorable commissioner, you're welcome to this conversation this evening.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for hosting.
Thank you very much, Honorable Commissioner. So let me start this way. On Monday, the governor gave a directive that that market should be closed. Many have argued, well, this is too harsh. Why don't you negotiate? Why don't you use the diplomatic means? And many also have said, well, for the last 5 years, the governor have actually engaged. Why are they still closing this market? From an informed perspective, as someone who is from the government, why did the governor close the market without any warning? Or was any warning given before now that the people weren't aware?
Yeah, well, thank you for that question. The fact remains that the government has engaged with the traders for upward of 2 years and perhaps more. And before the closure that came this time, they were also told, their leadership, they were told that this will happen if nothing is done to reopen the market on Mondays. They gave their word that the market would be open on Monday. That was last Monday, day before yesterday. And the government got there and they found that the market wasn't operating. Just a handful of people, less than 1% of the shops could be said to be open. So the governor gave the order that the place be shut down so that it would drive home his decision that every Monday, all aspects of Anambra's social economic life will have to return to full swing. So they got the warning that this could happen. They didn't take it seriously, but now they do, because there is a meeting with them tomorrow, not just the Onitsha main market leaders, but the entire markets you have in Anambra State. Their leaderships will have to meet with the governor tomorrow at International Convention Center. We expect over 2,000 of them. So I guess they are beginning to understand that the governor is not joking about this. The governor certainly wants markets reopened every Monday, not just the markets, all aspects, schools, civil service, every aspect of our socio-economic life has to be revived. And last Monday too, there was a test of the directive that all the civil servants must return. And the state secretariat was bustling with life. Civil servants, because the governor also directed that whoever does not work should not be paid for that day, particularly Monday. It's a kind of pro rata payment system. So no work, no pay on Mondays. And majority of the civil servants showed up. And of course, teachers also showed up in their various schools. Yeah.
If we come to Onitsha, for instance, we have Mbuko Obosi, which I understand was also short. We have the Newi, or rather, if I stay within Onitsha, we have the Ochanja market, we have the relief market, then we'll have another big cluster in the Newi, and some semblance of activities around Equilobia. So, someone would then want to know why MEM market and not other markets short as well.
Well, main market is the biggest, and we decided to start with the biggest. And main market specifically is one market where Anambra State government has the highest stake. Many don't know that Onitsha main market is a property of the government of Anambra State. So we decided to start from there because they appear to be the ones really setting the bad example. So once we get it right with main market, we are certain that other markets in Anambra will fall in line. And all the other markets have also received the same notice that when we do inspection and discover any of them to be short or not appreciably operating on Mondays, it will also receive the same treatment as Onitsha main market. So no market is exempted in Anambra State. No market, no school, private or public, mission or whatever. Any school we find not operating on Mondays will also be shut. That's the decision, not just of the governor, but of the Anambra State government. It was reached at a retreat, end of tenure retreat of the Anambra State Executive Council, ANSEC. They really agreed that everything humanly possible should be done to put a stop to sit at home in Anambra. And the implementation has just begun.
Okay. Now, many also argue that rather than shut down the market, shouldn't government have gone after those who, you know, with certain nomenclature could be classified terrorists that are tormenting the people, that are scaring the people? Because this is no longer, in my view, it's no longer about the willingness to come to the market or lack of it. That, in the argument that, oh, if you come out you'll be killed, if you come out you'll be harmed, and people have cited examples. People have cited examples of the Mother Valley in Osumohu, where certain individuals are said to be calmed. And don't you think that if the government had dislodged those who would come to the street to cause harm, that people would naturally come out on their own?
Yeah, we know you have, what you may call a Biafra agitators and sympathizers. You have IPOB members and leadership. You have all manner of people who are involved in this. But there is something that the government is trying to avoid. Sitatok was called by indigenous people of Biafra.
Mm-hmm.
But somewhere along the line, even though Nnamdi Kanu himself washed his hand off Sitatok. Now, a faction of IPOB led by Simon Eber appears to be the one, still enforcing Sitatok. We are up and running with them, and it's not everything I can say here. We are on this with them, and you made the reference to a camp you believe is still there. It may not be there as you think. We are on top of this, and that is why we are sure that we have put in place enough security to take care of the fear factor, so that people who want to go to their shops can. Those who want to go to school can go to school. Those who want to go to work can go to work. And so far, we don't have any reason to believe that there is security threat to the point that the people cannot use it as a convenient excuse. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm a bit under the weather. I'm just dragging myself. That level of insecurity that you made reference to no longer exists in Anambra State. We may not have gotten security 100%, but certainly enough security is on ground in Anambra now. And those who are still in the bush, we got our eyes on them. They know, and the governor even offered amnesty, asking all of them to come out and be rehabilitated and given a life. So Those who have decided to stay put in the forest, they know that they are enemy of the people, enemy of the state. And we will not uh, continue to wait for them indefinitely. We believe that those who are reasonable enough have come out and are being rehabilitated as we speak. Those who don't want to come out don't want to come out. So we go all out for them to keep our state safe. Monday sit at home has got to end. Those who are still citing insecurity can no longer be right. No, they can no longer be right. I'll tell you why. If you say there is security and people are asked not to come out every Monday, if you come to Onitsha on a typical Monday, you will see business, going on in places like Ochanja, the streets. Things are happening there. You go to the stadium, you will see, dozens and dozens and dozens of people who are there playing football and doing all manner of things. You have churches, holding programs. You have churches holding programs. You have town union meetings. You have neighborhood watch meetings. So we can say there are no activities on Sunday, on Mondays. No, there are activities. So if there are activities, how come if you have insecurity, how come these things are going on in Onitsha and all around? So, but you go to main market, they don't want to open the place. You can see they don't want to open the place. It's not because of insecurity. It is because of insecurity. Those who are all over Onitsha doing other things other than trading, shouldn't be out and free, and carrying out their meetings and sports and all manner of things, block the streets, play football, kill a goat or two to entertain themselves. They just altered Anambra socio-economic life.
Correct.
By making all they have succeeded in doing is to extend the weekend to Monday. That is what they have done, turning Anambra into a 4-day economy. This is sending a very wrong signal to the world. The world, because of Monday sit at home, still perceive Anambra as unsafe. And most of these investors are not living in Anambra. They have to come into it, and they need to run some checks before they can come there. And the signal is not good. And you ask these people, they say, well, they don't want to open main market because of insecurity. Do you know that, main market security has a manpower of up to 150? Security put in place by Onitsha main market itself.
150 security men.
Yes, by Onitsha main market alone, and they are armed.
Wow.
So what is their job if they cannot maintain security in main market on Mondays? That's the question. So that is why we believe there is an internal collusion. There is an internal collusion.
So, Commissioner, let me take you on 2 points. If you believe, or rather, if the government, if the state believes that there is an internal collusion, the question will be, of what benefit would there be? How would the traders be? What would be their benefit to collude to shut down on Mondays? Secondly, there is people cite the building material, Bosi, Ogidi, that there was one of the leaders who came out and said that they have to stop this Monday sit at home. And when the guy got home or thereabout, that eventually he lost his life. And they give instances about, of 1 or 2 leaders that have lost their lives, market leaders that have lost their lives. So the question is, are they really doing it as, as a sabotage, then the question will be to what benefit? And secondly, how would government protect the market leaders who are going to encourage people to come to work on Monday?
Well, you see, the action taken by government now has removed the now responsibility from the market leaders. It's now under a direct directive of the governor. Nobody should blame Onitsha or Omata president or chairman. He's not the one that ordered the reopening of markets. It is Soludo that did so. That is one level. And what we have done is to put in place sufficient security. I told you they alone have up to 150 armed men that they pay. So if there is no internal collusion, what is the function of that security body? If they don't want to do the job, they should disband them. Then we'll post Operation Udogachi to the place. It's simple. We can build a small army settlement around the main market if that is what they want. So it's not a matter of insecurity. If they really want the job done, they could have told the governor what their challenges are. Assuming the number of security operatives we make available officially is insufficient, they can work that out with the Nigeria Police Commissioner and the governor. That is how to go about these things. But they are not doing it because they found a convenient excuse in what I have just said. And since they cannot do it, government has taken it upon itself. The governor has taken it upon himself to drive the reopening. So whoever has anything to do should take it out on the governor himself, not the market leaders. And I think it's a good news, since and by Monday, the place will be reopened, and all the shops that failed to open on Monday, there will be a problem for those shops, because those shops they may stand revoked. Yes, the governor has. I told you earlier that Onitsha main market is the property of Anambra state government. But that is one. And number two.
But the argument.
No, but then they can remove their structures and leave our land alone. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Half of the structures in the main market, there are illegal structures nobody approved. They shouldn't provoke the government. Half of the structures inside Onitsha main market are illegal, unapproved structures. That's a fact. And if you have a property, you can change. You can revoke a tenancy of whoever that is there. You can recover your property. Anambra state government can recover. You're a lawyer, I believe. Anambra state government has the power. The governor has the power to recover on it. It has the power to sorry for the interruption.
Yeah.
Those who are saying that the traders, they have right and all those things, the governor equally has right over the property. They have tenancy rights. Governor has landlord's rights. And then if you read the Land Use Act, even private markets can be recovered by the governor. This is law. It's not law is not an emotional thing. It's factual.
Well,
and if they go that route, the governor will invoke his landlord's rights and recover the entire main market, pull it down and reconstruct it, and give it out to whomever he wants. And it will be legal. So that is not the route they should even press. Otherwise, they should bring it on. They should go to court. and prove me wrong. You and I know that if you are an owner of a property, whoever you lease the property to has no right to change the purpose clause. If I give you my house to live in and you change my house to a church, I have every right to say no.
Well,
That is what is going on now.
yeah, but in fairness, it's still being used for trading. I don't think they have necessarily changed that. And
No, no, they have. They have. No, wait a minute. No, let me tell you how I am the
so
one that made the claim. Let me tell you how they have changed.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how they have changed the purpose clause. They have now turned the main market, Onitsha main market, into a political weapon to drive an agitation by bringing the weight of the essence of Onitsha main market to bear upon Biafra agitation. That is change of purpose clause. They are using Onitsha main market for the purpose not intended.
So what
that is the truth.
So what you're trying to say, Honorable Commissioner, here, you're drawing a parallel between the so-called Biafra agitation and Onitsha main market closure every Monday.
But that was how it started now. It started following the order issued by IPOB when Nnamdi Kanu was extraordinarily renditioned back to Nigeria from Kenya. That was when IPOB issued a sit-at-home order. Was it not what happened?
Mm-hmm.
Even though at a point they said they were no longer involved in sit-at-home, but have you not been following what has been going on in the last 2 to 3 days? Haven't you been reading the press releases by IPOB challenging Soludo not to near Onitsha main market and not to tamper with sit-at-home? If you haven't read them, I'll forward to you.
No, sure, I have seen
they
that.
Are good. Then our conclusion is in order. Our conclusion is in order that they click a segment of these boys in the main market are the ones driving the fear, forcing the people not to open.
So another segment.
And those who want to open those who want to open their markets on Mondays also have the right. Look, there's no big deal here. If you don't want to open because you want to observe Monday sit-at-home, that's fine. Leave the market. We will retrieve your shop, pay you compensation, and give it to who will open on Monday. That is it. Yes. Governor has the power to retrieve anything from Anambra. All he owes you is compensation. If you go to court, the government has a full Ministry of Justice with senior advocates of Nigeria. So that is nothing at all. The courts are there for everybody. If they follow that route, we meet them in court. But sit-at-home must end in Onitsha main market and everywhere in Anambra State. Whoever wants to continue has the government of Soludo to contend with. And law is on their side. Yes, the Land Use Act alone, fortifies the governor to revoke anything. All he has to cite is in public overriding public interest. Isn't that how they say that in grammar? Overriding a public interest. And the plain stands revoked. By the time you go to court to recover your property, the governor will follow you up to Supreme Court. And this may take 4 years. By that time, Soludo has even left as governor. Abi? So that is why I think the best route for the traders is to see why the governor is saying, let us end sit-at-home. Let's just end it. You are using this to make a point, prove to Nigeria that Nnamdi Kanu is being unjustly treated. Fine, you have done that for 4 years without any result. What is the guarantee that if you do it for another 4 years, you get any result? And meanwhile, the economy of the state is hemorrhaging. The economy is hemorrhaging. 8 billion. 8 billion every Monday, then multiplied by five years that this thing has been on. Multiplied by 56 Mondays you have in a year. Then you will understand the math that we are talking about a minimum of 500 billion here lost in Anambra alone. And what is even more painful is that there is no more sit at home in other states of the Southeast, particularly the states of the leaders of the indigenous people of Biafra. At their state, particularly Umuahia, there is no sit at home. I have friends there. There's no sit at home. That should be the number one place where there should be sit at home.
You know,
but you don't have.
For context,
and you go to Enugu, you go to no, forget about context, because the issue is other states of the Southeast are not observing sit at home. So why Anambra? That is the question.
Mm-hmm.
Why Anambra State? Why do they want to destroy the economy of Anambra? What do they want to prove with main market? Why are they targeting main market? Why are they targeting Nnewi? Why? Why are they targeting these two markets? So you can see it's political. They know what they are doing, and this is not good for us as a people. And when I say 8 billion, it's not what government lost. Let me make this clear. It's not what government lost, because even the traders in Onitsha, how much do they really pay government? How much? If you look at the figures compared to the potential of Onitsha main market, you will laugh. So government is not really looking at what it is losing as a government. No, it's what Anambra economy, all these artisans, particularly these ones that have to make daily income to survive. You see the medicines, you see a woman that is frying akara. She can't fry akara on a Monday. Our children can go to school on Mondays. If you don't go to school on Mondays, how do you compete with other children all over Nigeria that go to school Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Thursday, Friday? How do you compete with them? You are already disadvantaged because others are doing 5 days, you are doing 4. You are doing 4. And our civil servants, before last Monday, we are not coming to work for the past 5 years. They were not coming to work on Mondays. And they were paid for Mondays they never worked for. They were paid for Mondays not worked for. Governor said, you can't be paid again for any Monday you didn't work for. If you want to be paid from any Monday, you come to work. You come to work, you sign in the morning, you sign out in the evening, right? Mm. You know, you sign out in the evening. And the dockets are sent to the Ministry of Finance. Mm. They will compute your salary. That is what we mean by pro rata salary system.
Correct.
You are no longer going to collect 1 penny you didn't work for under Soludo. It has ended. Okay. So we are not talking about just the markets here. We're not talking about markets here. We are talking about on the main market because of its symbolic value and the stake the government has there. Is the biggest market in West Africa. The biggest. And you kept it under lock and key every Monday for the past 5 years, because this whole thing started in 2021.
Okay. So, no.
And this is 2026.
Mr. Commissioner here, when I said to put this in context, if this Anambra State has been under the Monday sit at home been going on in the last 5 years, that will give us approximately about 260 or 261 days for the last 5 days. Now, if we calculate that by the 8 billion that you said,
8 billion, 8 billion, not billion.
Yes. and my money is still in million. So if we calculate that by the 8 billion, that would be giving us roughly about 2 trillion that we have lost in this
Yes.
year. Now, okay, but
Yes.
having said that, the question that I would then want to ask is, if we, many have argued the governor actually should have done this earlier. So why did the question that I'll put to you, why did he have to wait when the governor came in?
The governor didn't want to do it. The governor didn't want to do it before now in order not to put anybody in harm's way.
The people said
he wanted to be
sure. Election.
Listen, that's the answer. That's the answer I'm providing.
Okay.
The governor didn't want to put anybody in harm's way. The governor needed to conclusively deal with the issue of security. So last year, February 18, 2025, Governor Soludo launched Operation Udogachi and Agune Chamber after signing into law the Anambra Homeland Security Law 2025. Between then and now, all that they needed to really function well were put in place and tests run. And only last 2 weeks, the governor donated additional 30 brand new Hilux trucks to the Nigeria police. So governor believes that we have restored full security to Anambra, so it is time to end sit at home. That is the reason. He doesn't want anybody to give any excuse using insecurity. That's the reason why he's implementing it now. It is better late than never.
Well, again, but better late than never. 4 years down the line, well, again, he didn't want to upset the apple cart, but eventually it appears that same we got back to upsetting the apple cart. Now, you talked about amnesty program that was offered to those in the bushes. Do you have any idea how many sort of the numbers that eventually came out to take amnesty, if any?
I don't have the figures, but I can confirm to you that a good number of people took the offer.
Okay, and now, are you worried when yesterday we saw pictures coming out of Onitsha and the songs that they were chanting? Are you worried by that?
That they were chanting? No, I wasn't worried. They only confirmed what I have always known. That this whole thing is not about insecurity, it's about Biafra agitation. That's all. I wasn't worried. I wasn't surprised either, because I knew all along that this whole thing is not about any other thing, but that's just it. And what we are trying to do is to liberate Anambra and reclaim the soul of the state. That's what we're trying to do. And those who believe can order the people in Anambra to live in a manner that they have dictated should know that they are on their own. Anambra is under one governor and under one government. And there is no way Soludo will back down from this fight. If you know Soludo well, he will not back down from this fight. Many people thought that after protests, he would have reopened the main market today or tomorrow. No, it won't happen before Monday. And they better be on ground on Monday to trade. If they don't trade, the papers, allocations for those shops will be cancelled and they will be forced to reapply with a fine. That was what happened to Ogwete in Enugu under Pitampa.
Correct.
People need to understand the powers of a governor. They should have lawyers advising them. We are also aware. Listen, I told you that half of the structures in Onitsha market are illegal structures. People who live in in glass houses don't throw stones. Governor can start with the illegal structures. shut down the place to clear the illegal structures, and it will be lawful to do so. He can shut down on the main market for the next 6 months to reconstruct the place. If you go to Aba, you know area market.
I know, I've been there. I was there last year.
Area is under reconstruction as we speak. At least half of area is under reconstruction. The people there that were stopped from trading for the place to be reconstructed, they are Ndi Igbo and they are traders.
Though many of them,
there is nothing that makes them inferior. There is nothing that makes them inferior to the traders than in Onitsha main market.
I must.
Do you understand that? So,
of course, I understand that, and I must make this point. I was in area mid last around July when I visited to document what's happening in Abia State, and I spoke to the traders. Many told me who were on the side told me that since the overtake of that area and the build-up, which was started by Okezi Ikpazu, not Alex Oti point, that they could not afford the new structure that was being built there. But to your point, yes, government has the, because when pictures emerged, even when the governor was there on Monday, the environment was so, I mean, if I use the word shameful and
that is the almighty on the Champion market.
So who do we blame here, the government or the traders? Because it was unkept.
The traders that have refused for the place to be reorganized. Their refusal to comply with Monday sit at home will give you an idea of what we are talking about. They are a government unto themselves. They don't want anything to be done there. And they go to places like China and Dubai. Don't they see places? On the Jamaican market should be covered and air conditioned everywhere. That is the kind of things you find in Dubai and China. And we animals, can't we live a decent life like other places? We travel to other countries. Look at the irony. Onitsha trader, he makes money, he tells you that he's going overseas to go and rest. So you can't rest in Anambra now. Of course you can't rest here. But our people, but our people that is not fair. Soludo wants to turn Anambra into a livable, prosperous homeland, so that other people will say, let's go to Anambra and rest. On the main market, we have a very beautiful master plan of how the main market will look. It has been designed.
So what is stopping
Soludo is worried. Soludo is worried. It's Soludo that is delaying it. He is saying, where do you move these thousands of traders to? That's the question that has not been answered. Left to ESCO, to be honest, the main market as you know it now will not be standing. But the governor said no. And it's the same governor they are abusing now. They are forcing his hands. And I'm warning that this is
okay. At this point, many of you that are watching
in the offing, let them know them are holding legal papers. He's aware, and he didn't do anything about it. He is aware that half of the structures in main market are illegal structures. He didn't do anything about it. What he is saying, what he is hoping to do is to, build, 2-3 more markets around Onitsha, and that way decongest the current Onitsha main market. There is a market now that is nearing completion. The name of the market is Odu Igbo market. It's somewhere around that Onitsha. It's a brand new market. It's in Onitsha. Brand new. And he has about 600 and something lock-up shops. So, Soludo wants to build a number of markets so that he will be able to decongest the main market that way, systematically, rather than cause a one fell swoop reorganization that will throw thousands of traders into the streets and without any viable or clear alternatives. People are unaware of all these plans. He's having sleepless nights on their comfort, on how to make them better, and this is what he gets as reward. Some of us who are, putting pedal on some of these things, very soon we'll remove our legs from the pedal and let the throttle really, wherever we end, we end. But I tell you, what Soludo has done is within the ambience of the law. It is moral. It is justiciable. They shouldn't push their luck too far. I was waiting to see. I thought that today they must have brought down Onitsha bridge. I didn't see anything today. Do you understand?
Yeah, but
okay. So what they feel, it's okay.
There were protests today, Commissioner. They still protest and they blocked the Onitsha bridge. But the question here is, many traders complain that the closure punishes everyone, not necessarily those that defaulted. How is the state addressing the immediate hardship, like loss of income and spoilages for those who deal with perishables?
They lost 2 trillion in the last 5 years. It didn't bother them. Why should the loss of 2, 3, 4 days become such an issue? They were sitting at home for over 260 days. It's approaching a year they sat at home, and they are complaining about losses they incurred in 3 days. Like I said, if they believe that the governor has no powers or right to impose, if they know what they lost, they should calculate it and go and get the judge and the courts to order the payment.
No, many
argue, we are not.
If I stay by your last comment, it didn't show much empathy. But does it then mean it's just like when Oshomole was governor of Edo State, that he told a woman selling something on the side of the street, go and die. Then if I bring that here, the question will be, wouldn't the government have done this differently? In fairness to you, before you answer this. Okay. I think the network or whatever. Oh, there. I pray he comes back. But before he does, I think I have 1 or 2 people. For those of you who are joining us from, if you want to join us, the link was shared. I could still share that for you to join us. And I have Elder Deli Ajifo Diokba is on the background. So please, Diokba, you are, I think you joined us twice. You are echoing. You are echoing, please. You joined us twice. So close the browser, all the browsers that you have, then you can join with one. So because when I bring you in, it echoes. Let's try again. Yes.
Oh dear, how come?
I just brought you in. I thought you wanted to.
Oh, you did. How are you?
I'm all right.
I've been listening to what your commissioner is saying.
Okay.
I don't know. It is a sad situation in Southeast. You know how I feel about that place. And you don't kill an ant with a sledgehammer. Soludo, he's saying that Soludo wants to. He's had four years plus to show blueprints of this Dubai he wants to build. We've seen the magic that OT is doing in less than 2 years in Abia. So that they say in Igbo land, he has shown no blueprints about the great plans they have for you and Anambrarians. Unfortunately, the man is a bully. He thinks he can bully his way out of everything, always warning, destroying our so-called Ndimpologwa and everything. And I don't know. Soludo
listening to the commissioner.
Sorry, what was that?
Right?
Right?
Yeah, but you can hear me.
Yeah, but you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
Listening to
the
commissioner. One thing will
come to mind.
He clearly stated
that
the state,
over the time,
the state had offered
amnesty.
The state had
asked
those who are
enforcing
the
madness. Because
for me,
the sit at home is not
madness.
It's pure insanity.
So those that are
enforcing,
the governor had offered them
amnesty.
He had offered training. He had offered support. And we can't use this state cannot continue to either say, we are going to. You've been discussing for the past. You and I are members of the From Untukumuna, Soludo was made chairman of that committee. Look into the immediate and remote causes of these agitation. They committed their report. Members of that Charlie for them. The question is, people say the government should have done differently. I would someone who wants join us also tell us how could government have done this differently. Go ahead.
You see, Maazi Ezeoke, what you're doing is the tragedy of one side story. Until we get the people who are agitating for this sit at home on Monday, Professor Dinkalo, who chaired the committee set up by the government and the market dealers, to a program like this to air their views. We're listening to one side. If you call the Omata people or people of Anambra Trading Association, particularly in Onitsha, they tell you a different story. Let's get everybody together. I don't support that sit at home. It's a drain on our economy. It's a bad thing for us. It scares investors away. We will stop it if we can, but you do not stop it. Now that Soludo has announced the indefinite ban on trading, you're losing more money. The state is losing more revenue from IGR. It doesn't make sense. Like that is cutting your nose to spite your face. We have a system in our Igbo land. When your child misbehaves, you hit him with the right hand and draw him with the left one. Don't throw him away with the hot water. Don't throw the baby away with the bath water. That is what he's doing. He's too bullish. Yeah, he doesn't behave like an educated professor at all. He's too bullish, too arrogant. You don't do that in leadership. For God's sake, we have had issues in Igbo land. We don't have leaders in Igbo land. And that irks me. We're looking at Onitsha in isolation. But it transcends the entire Igbo land. Many things are happening in Igbo land. If we leave Onitsha now, somebody who created mayhem in Igbo land has confessed that he was hired by the government to annihilate our Igbo people. I'm talking about Asari Dokubo. We're talking about IPOP killing people. IPOP said we don't kill people. We don't carry guns. I don't know them. But I'm saying basically that we should at least try the carrot and the stick. Let us have them on the round table. If they have met with people, let us get them back. Let them tell us, you don't call it a meeting, reconciliation meeting or whatever it is, and then take one side story. It doesn't make sense, my friend. Not in a civilized society.
So that I'll push you at the background For some reason,
your connection makes
the stream
to echo.
Thank you very
much.
Yogwa. Okay, I think for some reason his connection makes when I speak, I have this feedback. Now, let's actually listen to what Governor Soludo said today, because today he addressed Ndi Anambra, and this is what he said.
You want to turn Southeast into a desolate homeland, and yet you are fighting for them. Of course, he said that was wrong. I confronted him with these questions, and he told me that was wrong.
Now, what the governor was alluding here is that when he said that was wrong. I believe here he was narrating the conversation that he had with the leader of the IPOB. So in this sense, and whom he had visited while he was in DSS custody and asked him to issue statement to the effect that sit at home must end, which was eventually done then, right? So let's listen.
So now you come. These other criminals were enforcing this, maiming and killing people on Mondays. Okay, we engaged. We offered amnesty program to those who enforce it and dwell in the bush. We also established the 17-man committee through Justice and Peace Commission, chaired by Professor Denkalo, to identify the remote and the immediate causes of the agitations, restiveness, violence, and struggle in the Southeast since 1999. And they have already submitted their report, and we're already implementing aspects of it, including setting up the Bureau of Missing Persons. We cannot, but then July 2023, recognizing that much of the sit-at-home rhetoric was fueled from outside Anambra, we decided to engage with those living in Abuja, living in Lagos, and the diaspora, that you are killing the homeland. If you love Igbo land, if you love the Southeast, or you are from the Southeast, and you are talking about sit at home, there must be a mental problem somewhere. Because you are killing the place. How will the children, innocent children, grow and be part of the next century if you keep them away from schools? That's the people you say you are fighting for.
Now, it's, again, I will be pausing at intervals just to chip in my own observation. He said it here that those who are enforcing sit at home or those who are supporting it must be suffering from mental illness, pure insanity. For the last 4 years, I've said it there, I've written a couple of pieces about it. I do not, there is something that would have made sense. While would it have worked, or would it have been a better strategy? Recall that there was a time the IPOB said that whenever their leader was brought to court after being renditioned back to Nigeria, that they were going to sit at home. Logical, sensible. But that you then every Monday, not that you can at will sit at home, that you force people, old people, you go to the hinterlands where mothers are. We saw videos from, I think, Ebonyi State, where mothers who went to the farm to get their pumpkin leaves, ogo, and you go destroy it, and you say you're Odogo. I mean, that's pure insanity. It's crazy. Because why? That your mom, who is in the village, who's gone to bring Oha leaf, Diogo leaf, and Edikaiko or whatever, and you go destroy them, and you call yourself smart. That is, in a way, I don't know how else to describe that. So if we look at, when we talk about the government engaging, from what you can hear from the government here, the governor said it himself, those and how they have engaged within the state engaged outside the state. So that when we talk, let's not out of emotion. What I want us to do this evening, and that's why this program is created, is have your say. It's not a monologue. It's me. The commissioner had come here, he spoke, and probably his network got bad. If he comes back, I bring him. I still have questions written down that I want to ask him. But if you feel that you have something to say, if you want to disagree with me, please come, as long as we are having a respectable conversation that we do not insult one another, both for YouTube community guideline and for our sanity here. If I listen to the governor, I am struggling as a person. For thinking critically here, what else could he have done? According to the commissioner, that before today, that the governor was in Onitsha and with the leadership of the market, and he told them, if you don't open next Monday, we will. So it's not like it was done sudden. They said they were given notice. Just like a teacher or a worker who was told, if you do not come to work next week, you'll be sacked. One of the questions I had with I have for the commissioner is, when the governor says, if I come next week, and if the shops are not opened, I will extend it to 1 year, to 1 month. If I then come and let's say 75% of the people open their shop, let's for argument's sake that on Saturday, on Sunday, I got hit by a car. I'm in the hospital and I didn't come, my shop was not open. Does it mean that I will then lose my shop? Let's say for argument's sake that I have malaria or that I have typhoid and I'm unable to come and open my shop on Monday. Does it mean that my shop will be open? But maybe the logistics of handling this is left to be seen. But the bottom line here is that, I am personally, as a person, struggling to see how else and what else the governor and the government could have done in order to stop this, if, according to what they are telling us, they have engaged this far. Let's continue listening to this.
That's madness. The poor peasant farmers and so on and so forth. The woman who was frying akara to feed her people, to feed her children in front of their house. Those who were enforcing it, those mad people, went and shot her dead in front of her house. How do you expect, and these are the people you are fighting for? So we tried to engage. We did everything. We even have our 1U2 skills program. We told them, come out of the bushes, we'll help you earn a living. About 15,300 youths have so far benefited. We tried to make life easy for these poor people that they are harming by, having free education from primary through secondary school for these poor people. We said peas and petty traders, vulcanizers, truck pushers, and so on, who have little that nobody should charge them anything. We're struggling, free antenatal, free delivery for all pregnant women that has benefited over 180,000 women in the state, and so on and so forth. We are working for these poor people, trying to get them alive. But then some other people are elsewhere trying to inflict monumental pain on them every week. Every week that you don't have, but I will come to that in a moment. And that's a point for you to note. You've got to ask yourself, why Anambra? Why Anambra? Why Onitsha in particular? Because as I drove out here on Monday, here you are in Oka. You go to Ezeoke, you go to the markets, everybody's going about their business. You drive down through Onitsha, everywhere is busy. Why do they target Onitsha and the Nnewi markets? This is something for everybody to think about. Why? You go around Onitsha, and majority of the people doing this are not from Anambra. Majority of the people doing this are not from Anambra. It's food for thought. And I will say that we came in first. We didn't want to come with any force or coercion. We had meetings, multiple meetings with leaderships of various markets. I was in one of them. I visited some of the markets, the main market particularly. I visited it. Asked them to open the main market. Because as you come everywhere else, I drove through Ochanja the same Monday. All the streets, street trading everywhere. So anybody talking about, oh, it's because of insecurity, it's madness. Because the same Onitsha, all the streets are filled with traders trading on the streets. But then they lock up the shops at the main market. They lock up the shops at the major markets. It's no longer sit at home, because sit at home meant you sat in your home. But now everybody is in the streets, but doing everything else but opening their shops. This must end. But I don't think it's because of maybe lazy habit, like I said. When an abomination has lasted for a year, people trying to normalize the abnormality, make it normal. Mondays you do something else, you know. No. The rest of the world cannot adjust to our own calendar. We must adjust to the calendar of the rest of the world if we want our people, the Southeast and Anambra State, to move forward. And I raised another puzzle. We've just discovered in main market, you have over 150 security persons working there. That's a subject for another day. So anybody who talks about, oh, it's because of security or insecurity, but you have about 150 security personnel there. Are they working to secure the market, or are they the saboteurs? We will come to that in the next few days. Like I said, the cost to Anambra State is enormous. People think of about revenue to government. Absolute nonsense. Even main market generates absolute pittance. Contribution to state revenues, absolute pittance. Relative to the potentials there.
For those of you who may not have understood what he said, that the main market generates absolute pittance, he meant that it's as good as saying absolute peanuts, absolute nothing. You know, in a serious language, that they do not generate commensurate to what they ought to be paying in. You see, that is the thing. The main market is kind of, I don't know, I would say it's unstructured in its nature. I said it in a group, and people said that that wasn't the point of discussion. Well, I said maybe because of that's why I view the world. When the governor was there, and I highlighted this to the commissioner as well, when the governor was there on Monday, and during the protest yesterday, it became obvious. When there are no human beings there, you begin to see how dirty and unkept that place is. I recall one time about 2 years ago that I went into the market. I went from where they sell bead, where they sell caps, hats and bags. I wanted to buy, what was it that I wanted to buy? I wanted to buy some materials for to make clothes. Jesus, it was really suffocating. It was really suffocating. I mean, this is off point here, and it reminded me when I went there with a friend of mine who is a German, a German woman. When we came back, we're still in the market, and she complained something. So that she could not understand that every person wanted to touch her breast in that market. And, as a, I don't know whether that happened because she's a woman or because she's, okay, no, whether that happened because of her color or what, right? But the point here is that in I would have wanted a situation where the Anambra state government used these 6 days, actually not 7 days, 6 days, because they've already closed on Monday. So where they used these 6 days, or if not 5 days, because they're not going to open on Sunday. So it's actually 5 days closure, right? Where they used this 5 days closure probably to have either have forced the people to clean up the environment. I tell you, it was shameful, and this goes to the people in the market. It was really, really shameful to say that the market is in that mess without a way of clearing it. I think after this, the government and the people, the traders in the market must come together and find a way where once they leave the market at night, it should be tidied up. I mean, people that are trading there, they're not pigs. They are humans. They are humans. You want to do a not even the big business. There's absolutely no place you can do, just somebody who, I tell you, go to that parked car and bring out your, and, do your zipper and there are things when you hear them, the people will go back to where it's coming from. So there is a lot of things that is not actually wrong in that market. So this is just bringing it to the fore. 2 years ago, I ran a documentary on this. Maybe in the course of this, I'll bring that my documentary to show us. As I speak to you today, the market does not have a fire service dedicated to it. So we see what has happened in Lagos in the last couple of 2 months, right? That fire outbreak over the Christmas period. If it happens in Mem Market today, we'll hear it. People will lose billions. How much is it going to cost? Why don't if the market association or what can, if they are incapable to buy 2 minimum fire trucks that people can do shift and stay in the market, and the drivers or whoever do shift, that if any fire come within 2-3 minutes, the fire truck is on the way. But the way you have attachments everywhere, the roads, people even get their wares almost to the middle of the road. How is the truck going to move? Last week, we saw when Billard was in that market, how the whole place was jam-packed. It bothers me. I know this has happened, but I am using this opportunity as well to flag some of the things I have been saying about that market. That market, things need to change. No matter how we look at it, things must change. I mean, people there are not subhuman. There are ones the government must do. And my expectation is that the market leadership should also do something. Not only that the government is coming to, but they must have some demands they make from the government as well. I recall that one of the reasons why I went there was when some market people complained to me that in the middle of that market where they had original car park, that the former governor of Anambra State, Obiano, while he was leaving, sold the car park for someone to build plaza. I will share the link of that video here for you to wear. And I called it Onitsha Mem Market a disaster waiting to happen. And I pray that I will not be alive to say, well, guys, I told you guys so. I'm not saying somebody else went. I did myself. Oh, it's already 3 years now because that was in 2023, right? I did after the election. I went there and I documented that myself. I sent it to whoever was in the Anambra state government, and they all saw it. But till yet, nothing has happened. The traders, nothing has happened. So we are sitting, aside what we are discussing now, we are still sitting on a keg of a powder there. If by any chance Mem Market catches fire, no succor. I can tell you that free of charge.
They pay little and very little. I'm talking about the larger economy. The traders themselves, that each day that you don't go to market, you don't know how many businesses that you've lost. You don't know how many businesses are moving out of Onitsha to elsewhere. Because Monday is almost the most important day of the week. That's when suppliers, the people demanding for goods, that's when they must go and open up. So if you are not opening, people are opening, relocating elsewhere. That's what we mean by the cost to the state. The place will keep getting down and down economically. And like I said before, we're not going to train our children in the 21st century by going to school 4 days a week. Absolute nonsense. And this, of course, obviously, has stopped. We're going to open the schools, and we're going to take the same measures. If you are running a private school, if you are not open, come and slam it and lock it up. Because we've given you the permission to operate there as a school. And in Anambra, the school days are Monday through Friday. If you are going to close it for any day, you've got to get a special permission. Someone says, oh, they are right. It is your right. Fair enough. But I also have a right to even revoke the ownership of that place in public interest. If we start exercising rights, everybody starts exercising his right and powers, then that will get us the road to nowhere. But all this nonsense must stop. The banks, I have a meeting with them now, public service, petrol stations, public servants, of course, when I have it, if you don't come to work, you don't get paid. Deduct it for the day. Because if 5 days in a week, and you abstain from 1 day, you have absented 20% of the week, isn't it? 1/5 is 20%. And if you've done that for 1 year, meaning that you worked for 80%, paid for 100%. And you've done that for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. No, now. Abba. You know, you work for 80% and get paid for 100%. The markets, like I said, particularly the petty traders, particularly for the petty traders, I am concerned because you've given me the mandate to be your chief servant. For me as a person, what do I lose? I lose. I go home, sit down, we can also shut down and maybe I take my own Monday and sleep. But no. For the sake of this state, for our children, for these poor people, poor traders, poor farmers, and who depend on these markets being open, we cannot have this. Those who depend on daily income, like I said, the artisans and so on and so forth. So the struggle is to save the economy of Anambra, secure our future, save our children, keep our markets open, and reassure our investors who are pouring in now that Anambra is not a 4-day week. It's a 5 or 6 day week. We need to reassure everybody. We are open for business. Anambra is certainly one of the largest economies in Nigeria. You can't count 1 to 5 and you don't count Anambra State. It cannot go swim against the wind. And so, for us, this is a moment of reckoning. A time comes when you must either stand up for truth or be drowned. We have endured this since I came. We've been patient, pleading, negotiating.
When the governor says that he has endured this, that his government has endured this, I think it's pertinent that we ask, they've been pleading to who? They've been speaking to who? And They've been engaging with whom we know. So I don't know. I think on this issue, maybe we are approaching this issue with too much emotion. Can we think about this? Is it right that we have been closing, shutting down? When Ifanyuba was buried, for instance, I was, after attending Ifanyuba's burial, that same evening, all of us went to sleep in Onitsha, in Asaba. We went with our own different car. But one thing happened. On getting on the Monday to fly out of Asaba, the plane was filled with all the people I saw at Ifanyuba's burial. And they were saying something. One of them, a former PDP spokesperson, said something that struck me. He said, Ezeoke, do you know how much the Southeast is losing that because we all ran away? That if he was in his village, that people will be coming, and there is no way people come that he won't sit down and entertain them. Either the chef is gonna cook, or someone is gonna is gonna give out money to people. He's either doing one project or the other. But when people run away, because the moment is Sunday evening, no one stays back. Everybody runs because life is going to return on Tuesday. How do you start? It's not even, how do you start a week? You know that even when you work, sometimes if you have to travel where a place that is more than 12 hours, you normally travel that you arrive on Sunday so that you rest. Because Sunday is normally not a working day, but so people use that to travel. You arrive your location on Sunday, you rest. You pay for the hotel, then you start your business on Monday. But now people start traveling on Tuesday, or people start traveling on Tuesday because they do not want to be in that state on Monday. So if they start traveling on Tuesday, either they come in on Tuesday to start their week on Wednesday, it doesn't make sense. Or if they are not traveling from far distance, so they can travel on Tuesday and come in on Tuesday, no matter what, their day begins on Wednesday. We are the ones losing it, no matter what. Some of you may say the governor is arrogant the way, but if you look at it, when someone is making sense, when it concerns our collective future, it's not a single person. This is a place where many people may not want to be, because the decision, in as much as a lot of us, a lot of you are saying, oh, why should he have done it? And I am still pleading. The reason why I'm playing what the governor said here is that after listening to him, I would want you to come and give an alternative method of what he should have used, right? Without just conversation. It's called Have Your Say for a reason.
So on and so forth. Many meetings. I will tell you, like I said, the abomination has lasted for, years, and now turning to be the way. Somebody drew my attention to somebody who's always shouting, show us the law. Don't complain when I bring out the full laws.
Show me the law.
Don't complain when I bring out the full laws. And for members.
Sorry, a Victor on the comment section. It would have been nice that you come in and make your point, because you keep saying that this is political motivated, and that's it. So I don't know, what you mean by political motivation from who. He's not contesting to be governor again. So what political motivation is that? And I don't even see that the traders are politicians. So I struggle to see, when you say this is political motivation, I struggle to see where that point is coming from.
Market particularly, for market particularly, it's owned by the state government. And by the way, we already have a design, a master plan of the new main market. Okay? We've been restraining because we've been thinking about alternative ways of doing it. If push comes to a shop, I will give you a notice to come and carry out your things. I want to level the place and rebuild it. Push comes to a shop, I will give you a notice very quickly. It's my property. It's the government's property. And sooner or later, if this pushes again, we're going to cancel all allocations in that place. We'll cancel them. If you don't show up, we're going to revoke your ownership of that shop, and I'll give it up to Agona Chamber as the alternative office. That also is within the law. If you're asking me to show you the law. If I bring them the laws out, don't complain. And the new law is in the making. Because these places that become of significant economic interest for the state, for the survival of the state, if you want to transact business there, you cannot just do as you wish. Your activities become central to the survival of the state. And so you can't, if you agree to do business there, I will revoke all the ownership there and you come for a certification. And the terms and
Sorry. Let me address this that is on screen. You know, I don't know when you went to Ariaria. He says that Maazi, it's not right, but some issues needs to be handled with intelligence. Why OT is not closing Ariaria? I don't know if you have been to Ariaria. Ariaria opens. The day I went to Ariaria on a Monday morning, right? I was in Omaha. From Omaha, I went to Aba. So, but if you're talking about rebuilding that shop, when they started the rebuilding of Ariaria, there was no the sit at home, because that was actually started in 2000 and I think September 2021. So we haven't gotten to this point of madness then, and the method, from what people told me, the way they lost shops, and that many of them who lost shop cannot even afford to pay the current rate. So let's try as much as possible to compare apple for apple, not necessarily comparing apple to oranges here, right? If you go to Aba, I do not think that Aba is locked down the way, that's what the governor is actually questioning. And the commissioner questioned that as well. He said that if you go to the hometown of the leader of the group that is being accused that they are behind this, that you will not notice. I mean, people go to their daily activities. Then how come that you now go to another state? If you go to Ebonyi, I mean, for even when Dave Umahi was there, you will never see anyone. I've gone to villages. I've gone to Ebonyi. I've gone to communities outside the state capital, and they are really thriving. Enugu state governor came in. I know, sadly, somebody lost their life when Enugu state governor was trying to enforce that at Ogbete market. There was a guy that I believe they said he came back from Dubai, and he lost his life. Again, may his soul rest in peace. That was a tragedy, but people criticized Mba for it. But now Enugu is relatively safe. That madness doesn't happen that way. I am convinced that if Onitsha traders are able to open up their shops on Monday, that will be the end of sit at home. The reason being that I also know that the governor will not want a situation that he opens up the shops on Monday and there are casualties, right? And if there are, I'm assuming someone comes out and he's shot because he opened his market he opens the shop in main market. And come to think of it, it is actually not visible. Those who enforce this madness actually do that in isolated places. If you understand the way main market is congested, it will not make sense. Where would you even go? Where would you go and shoot people? Is it inside the market? If you understand the way the way the market is so clustered, you begin to question where. Or are you going to wait for people on the way when they are going to the market to shoot them, or you go into the market to shoot them? That doesn't make sense. So, if we really want to liberate ourselves from this madness, sadly, it has come to this. But hey, we'll wait till Monday and we'll see how it goes.
Conditions must be that you will you'll be open 7 days, 6 days a week. And if you are not open any day, you must take permission, because you're occupying a place of special economic interest. If you don't, I'll take back my shop. We'll revoke your ownership there. At least under the Land Use Act. Whether it is private market or whatever, if you don't open, okay, all these markets that are here, Mbuka, what is it? Building materials or whatever thing. You say it is private, I will revoke the ownership of that market and take it over. Hand it over to Aguna Chamber as their new office.
You and the Aguna Chamber.
We are determined to, on this fight, we are planned. If you want it to plan to last for the remainder of this year, we are prepared. Enough is enough.
With this statement, I think anyone who thinks that the governor will buckle, nah. I was thinking, maybe naively so. Yesterday, I was thinking maybe he may have received some call. He may have gotten some leadership of the markets to speak to him. He may have done X, Y, Z. He may have, gotten more information. But after watching this video, I guarantee you the market's not going to open until Tuesday. And I guarantee you that nothing will happen. That Anambra State, listen, many people in Anambra State are actually with the governor on this. Nothing would happen that the market will remain short until next week. Now he's saying that if by next week others close, they will be affected as well. I believe even from tomorrow, the protest will start dying down. There were skirmishes less than yesterday, today at the bridgehead. Right? People may have issue with the approach, but like the Commissioner of Information Anambra State, Dr. Lomefo, who was my guest here moments ago, like what he said, no matter how we look at it, that the governor is not going to buckle, and because that he had already had conversations, discussions with them, and agreement reached, yet they now feel that leaving it and not doing what they did is that those who are enforcing sit at home is now in cahoot with the mem market. That's another information that I didn't have before today. So if the state has that level of information and now saying, okay, we've offered you guys amnesty, we have asked you to relinquish your weapons and come, let us, the same people think of this. When we hear that Boko Haram members are being granted amnesty, or that they're having meeting with the government, what the governor said here actually and what the commissioner said before now is exactly the same thing that we say, oh, they're offering them amnesty, is exactly the same thing we have done in Anambra State and Imo State. Think about this. Why is it that this madness and nonsense is so deep entrenched in Anambra, the capital, in Anambra, Onitsha, the commercial city, and some border communities with Imo State? Why is everywhere, Ebonyi State, you will not see all this nonsense? Because the governors before now took drastic measures. Many are saying maybe the reason why River State is quiet today is maybe as a result of the measures taken by the former governor of River State, Nyesom Wike. Recall in 2020, October, after the NSAS protest, that a couple of military men were shot and their rifles taken, and we could lock down the state and said no. People called him names then, but again, maybe as some observers say that, assuming he did not do that, that the state might be in crisis today. Like I said to the commissioner, why did the governor do this 4 years ago when he was elected? And his answer, he's no longer here to defend himself, but his answer is that the governor and the government of Anambra State were engaging. They didn't want to. But you cannot engage, in I don't know, you cannot engage forever. You cannot engage till thy kingdom come. At some point, there must be a definite date that something has to give way. We are going to enter a new phase that I think, hopefully, before mid-year this year, these things will be story. I recall during COVID, I was with my family in Enugu, and we needed to do, my family needed to fly out, and I needed to do, what's it called again? The COVID test. And the place they do the test is an independent layout. But we couldn't. Normally then they tell you it has to be within 48 hours validity. That Monday we couldn't. Because on our way trying to come out of where we were, we heard that near Oboete that people were shot. We actually had the gunshot, but we didn't know what was happening, that there were dead bodies there. So everywhere now shut down, the place shut. Luckily for me, just because I knew and I had personal relationship with the owner of the lab, who eventually arranged for me to come back in the evening, and they had to give me an express service for me to still use it to fly within the allotted time. So if I think that in 2021 that I had, we've been suffering this on Mondays, then 2026, that's 5 years, people. I don't know why we are not saying it. It's too long a time that this must be resolved.
Many of them are occupying the place illegally. Many don't have proper documentation, proper papers. Many don't have, we know the illegal structures there that were built without proper authorization, proper permits, and so on and so forth. If I take a bulldozer to the place tomorrow, you clear more than half of those things there. We're talking about the law. We don't want to deal with this and pull out the full weight of the law. But if we are pushed, we are not even shy to deploy them. Like we said, people are open every day. During the Christmas, they opened on Sundays and Mondays and everywhere, every time. And now under normal days, on Mondays, you are everywhere, playing in the streets. That's the day now you go for sporting. That's the day you have neighborhood meetings and you say it is sit at home. You're not sitting at home. It's now calculated economic sabotage.
Now, he made a point here that got me thinking. If it's about security and you're sitting at home, yet you go for meetings, you go for club meetings, and you play football on the street, and you're not afraid of insecurity, why can't you open the shop then? Think about it, people. Let's take out the emotion in this and let's deal with this, honestly.
To bring down Onitsha, to bring down Nnewi, to bring down the economy of the state. And I will tell you what, you can do that with any other person, but not with this governor standing here. We are determined, on behalf of the Anambra people, we must take back our state. We are going to take back our state, whatever it costs. We are determined. I want to reassure you and call on everybody, all our people. We have exercised restraint. Since it could be said since 2023, anybody saying that they didn't open the shop because of insecurity is just delusional. Even Go around. Some other places more insecure, and the places are open. Onitsha, 4 places. Main market with over 150 security personnel there. You're saying the reason you're not open is because of insecurity. Absolute nonsense.
That's another thing that, if I were the governor, that must be looked into. If truly the main market has about 150 security personnel with pump action, yet they are closing because of insecurity, it's questionable, because it's about the market, not in your home, the market itself, right? So what are the jobs of those people who are there to secure the lives
But you're there, you
of people?
are in the stadium playing. Okay? You're in the stadium playing. But insecurity allows you to go to stadium to play. Allows you to be doing workouts on the roads. Allows street trading all over the place. The roads are blocked with street trading. But insecurity doesn't allow you to open your shop at main market. Eh? So, all I said to you, my dear friends, is that there is a time for everything. For 2024, 2025, we've been very patient. Let's say that 2023, 2022, just the 2 years that we used to have a massive onslaught. And this.
Now, from the things he has said so far, I would want those who disagree with him to please come up and marshal out your own argument against the things he has said. Please, respectfully, you're free. The link to join is on the comment section. Admin, please, can you link it? What's it called? Pin it in the comment section. Sorry, pin it in the comment section on YouTube, so those watching on YouTube can actually join if they want, right?
This criminal element. And by the way, it's not yet 100%. We're still massively launching massive onslaught on these criminal elements in our state. And Anambra is currently, without any doubt, one of the safest states in Nigeria. We claim to be the safest, but probably at least even the enemy will agree that we're one of the safest states in Nigeria. Anybody talking about insecurity as a reason is not just. Absolutely. So I call on everybody, let's come together. Ndi Anambra, when we set our mind to it, we'll get it done. When we set our minds to it, we'll get it done. The saboteurs, the criminal elements, and their sponsors, particularly some politicians, who think it is something to play transient politics with. You are encouraging people, you are sabotaging your own place, your own people. You're there, it is politics. It is not politics, my dear. This is about livelihood. This is about the future. It is about the future of our children. It is about the future of that poor woman on the street who has to hawk something on Monday to earn a living. It is about being able to have investors who are already flooding in to have the comfort that they have a full work week. It is about our prosperity. It is about our security. Because if you deny 20% of the work days in a year, you are dampening our prosperity. Jobs that need to be created. Incomes that need to be earned. That's what this is about. And it should be simple enough to be understood by everybody. 2024, 2025 will be very patient, pleading. 2022, 2023, we are busy fighting all of this. 2026, we are turning on gear 4. Anybody that closes any of it will help you close it for the next week. If you like holidays, we help you. But going forward, we'll now come after and take those from you and give to those who are ready to use them. At least we'll have some powers in that regard. If your market cannot open because it is your private district, I also have powers to revoke your ownership of that place in public interest. And we are going to be deploying this in coming weeks. We are still open, we're open to some conversation. But as for keeping those shops open, there is no negotiation about it. It's either that they are open or we use them for something else. Main market, for now, as it is currently structured, as our biggest market, Newi, all these markets, building materials, head bridge, this and so on and so forth. I have a meeting with their leadership tomorrow, once again, for us to have because by Monday, those of them, any of them that fails to be open again, going to be locked, maybe for 2 weeks in the first instance, before we begin to take over some of them. But main market, if it remains closed again, we're going to now shut it down. And every trader who wants to be there has to bring his document, because I would then assume that all those who have shops there are criminals. If you have that there, you come and prove your ownership, and I will personally now oversee the allocation of shops back there. We're not joking with this. We're very clear about what must happen. The new Anambra that we are spending 24/7 building must come to happen. God has willed it, and we humans must make it happen. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
So that was the governor of Anambra State there, who told us what he was, who today, when people thought, okay, he was going to open the shop, and today he came out to say, no, he wasn't going to open it. Let me take some of your comments before I bring in this video. The reason why I'm bringing in this video, this was a documentary, a video I posted 3 years ago. I recorded this in Onitsha, and I used this video to highlight that there was no fire station in Onitsha, and I've shared the link to this video in the comment section. So those of you on YouTube, you can just after this, or you can copy it and put it in your browser so that after this you can go back and watch that. But let me just give us a snippet here. And again, I said this, why I am bringing this up is what I saw in the videos that I've seen. If you want, I can play those videos. How dirty the environment and how dirty the market was and how dirty everything there was. I was like, guys, we can do better. Now, if you look at this road, you will hear me when I narrated that there is a water channel, what we call gutter, big gutter. And they have illegally built shops on them. Now, one day when the place will flood, people will lose their goods. It is illegal to have done that. Or when government comes and say they want to reclaim it, they say government is not having a human face. But one that I blame the government and the people of this market, especially the market leaders, is that how can you trade trillions here, trillions, yet you do not have fire truck or whatever that you can contribute 1,000 naira a month or a week. Within 6 months, you buy brand new fire truck that you can afford. And it drives me nuts. It drives me crazy that people in the market cannot understand this simple thing. Listen to this.
Welcome to Ndi Media TV. This is a platform where we explore the truths behind the headlines. Today, we want to bring to the attention of the world on the impending danger at the largest market in the West African sub-region, the Onitsha main market. Something is happening here that may make your mind to sink. The largest market in Africa has no parking lots, has no fire service. At the same time, the only water channel that is in that market is built upon. This is indeed a disaster waiting to happen. It is sad to note.
Now, the reason why I will pause here to explain something is this plaza you see here was built towards the end of the former governor of Anambra State tenure. They said this place was car park where people who come to the market park their car. For now, if you want to come to the market, I think that day I went to that market, I parked at All Saints Cathedral, then used keke to get into the market. So people cannot actually bring, their vehicles to the market because there is no place to park. The little where haulage does happen, where people come load their goods and whatever, is being built up. Yet in building up everywhere, there is no single service fire truck station. I think let me make this faster. See, let's do 2.5. Okay, let's go.
That's the only car park left at the Onitsha main market. Inside the market was sold at the tail end of the previous administration, the Obiano administration. And that park is now lock-up shops. This is what you're looking at. These shops have been allocated. It's about 2 years old now. And the current governor, Chukwuma Charles Soludo's administration, is aware of this development. The question that we ask here at Ndi Media is, why did Soludo not deal with this? He's been in office now for over a year, and we are questioning the rationale behind taking over the park that has been used for many years. If there is any fire incident, as we know, there is a lot at this market, there is no place that the fire service can use because the only space left has been built up. That is not only the problem here. Let's move on. To get you a clearer view of what is happening, I had to change position. Here.
It's the best.
So, advert, the same market. Okay, so let's bring that back again. So,
no space. This structure has obstructed the ventilation in the market where you have generators. People are dying because of this structure you're looking at. I learned that the Soludo administration promised that the moment they take over, they were going to bring down this structure. The question we ask is, why hasn't that happened? You can see, this is where the...
Now, you see, I made this video in 2023. Soludo was barely 1 year in office then. If I just oppose what he's saying now, the address he made in Anambra today, I could now begin to hazard a guess why he hasn't demolished this. Because he's telling Ndi Anambra, I see a lot of illegal structures here. Do not push me. If you push me, I probably do the right thing. Then many of you who have done investment here will lose. So for me, now it's clicking that maybe he's looking at the laws it will cost those who have built this and probably trying to, maybe that's the reason. I'm just guessing based on what he said today. So maybe that's the reason. And maybe he's, as the commissioner said, that he's putting up a human face to this. Maybe that's the reason. I don't know. But let's go.
Haulage happened. At the moment, you cannot have about 3 to 4 buses come in here because the whole car park that has been used for decades, yes, decades, has been sold and has been built. Question is, do we have limit for greed? Ndi Anambra will hold the government accountable whenever lives and properties are lost in this market as a result of this that we are exposing to the public. This building in that middle must and should come down. We must think about life. Everything is not about money. The next danger is fire. What you're looking
So now, the building you're looking at was damaged by fire. I want us to get this right. The building you're looking at, that yellowish building, was damaged by fire. And this is where I was led to by people in the market, people with shops here. On the right, you see this pole here with blue, yellow, and the flag. This is the police on my right towards the logo. You see, this is the Nigerian police flag. And in front of here, on my left, you see water tanks here, the GP tank and the iron beam that is on your left, the water tank. Can you imagine the almighty mem market that was shot 2 days ago? Can you imagine that this water tank is their fire service? That's all. No fire truck. I mean, I don't know whether I would say insanity is an understatement, but let me take you back again so that you can understand this better.
Then it's not about money. The next danger is fire. What you're looking at is what they call the fire service with no single truck. Yes, fire service at the main market.
So here is what they call the fire service. Remember that this building is already gutted by fire. And it's only this water tank here that they call the fire service. Please, are you going to use a garden hose to stop fire? Or, I don't get it. Inside, there, I was asking, where are the fire hydrants? I mean, I just pray, but sometimes we act like we have sawdust in our brains. Sorry. Because this is not a question of prayer. It doesn't mean that when this place got burned, that those who had the shops are not prayerful or they are not prayer warriors. But there is nature and there are accidents. When accidents, some are unavoidable, some through our carelessness. When they do happen, if you do not have the right equipment, you will cause havoc and damages would occur.
Has no single truck. The only thing you have there is the overhead tank with the borehole that you can see. We can inform the public free of charge that when next there is fire incident in this market, shops will go down without any fire intervention. Why? Because there is no single fire truck. Exactly where you're looking at now with that police flag ought to be the fire station. And also
so here you're looking at is where they ought to, where they are supposed to have the fire station. That this position here, where you see the police flag, this space here is supposed to be the fire station. But the fire station is the tank you're looking at on the left. It's incredible, if you ask me. It's incredible.
To be the fire station and also the police station there. But all we have is the solar-powered borehole in the market. That's all. Who does this, people? We cannot be playing with lives. This is lives. Nigerians, Ndi Anambra, we need to speak up. This is disaster waiting to happen. And when it happens, we'll come back to the government and tell them we told you so. On a side note, the market is indeed very bubbly. Things are cheaper here. I had to buy one or two things, utilizing the opportunity of coming to the market. Things that I've been meaning to buy. But here, they are much cheaper because you have a higher percentage of importers who sell at this market. Now let's move to the third point, which is the water channel. I'm going to show you the water channel that is built upon, and we question, why are we doing this? Let me follow this water channel where you see people walking on. This is the water channel, covered with slabs. Sadly, that water channel ends in a shop. Follow the leg of this woman. You're looking at that water channel covered on a slab. Sadly, it terminates. And where does it end? Inside a shop. That's it. See that shop there? The woman probably doesn't know. That shop has been sold to her. She does not understand the danger that is about to happen.
You, just you, building.
I use this opportunity to call on Governor Soludo to please save lives before this danger that is staring us in the face happens. It's not time to start blaming anyone. Wrongs has been done, but at this moment, they must be corrected. Let's speak to one of the people who are willing to speak to us.
The last administration na Obiano. We just signed only individual sign anya park. But when we put shop one day never. We block one more motor na park never. Or we look so dollar one as well in the market. We is in the customer na there and the customer that the park na Sukotoro. For the day na can street park. I don't want to Ezeoke. I know this motor there because where is the parking space there here park. And the market is about the biggest market in West Africa. Man, we have a single parking space there. Then also check what how reaching. Motor only can market is where Baba. We use the fire service here to be motor. We bani work wa block rules on Osiaga. So I'm going to government. I want to hire better Hajira fee and lady. Then and also fire service. Office here. We simply make another there. I want problem. I want to market.
You have heard it from one of the traders in the market who has expressed his concern regarding what we've said here before. Looking at this is absolutely wrong. This structure should not stand here. This has led to lack of ventilation for those in the inner market. Staying there, you would wonder, how do these people breathe? It is inhumane to have done this. Not only about the structure itself, but about the accessibility in time of fire. Talk less of the fact that there is no fire truck in the market. It is indeed unthinkable. Ndi Anambra, we are the light of the nation. Let us show the light with common sense. Finally, we beckon on Professor Soludo, the governor of Anambra State, to please act fast before it is too late, before we lose lives based on the issues we highlighted in this video. We believe that you are a listening governor, and Ndi Anambra voted you, and at this point, you must listen to them. The danger of this blocked water channel must also be addressed. I am Maazi, Ezeoke.
Okay, so that was me, 2023, pointing this out. Some people took that video then, it went viral, and as usual, everybody is moved on. I hate to, and I do not want to, at some point, to say that I told them so. I do not wish that anybody loses their property, but if there is anything that happens in that market, it's going to be what it, we say it is what it is. It is what it is, right, people? Now, finally here, people, there was protest, today in Onitsha, because for many of you who are not, who do not know what is happening, now we're here, we have started this conversation. We will tell you what has happened today, that people were still protesting in Onitsha today. People protested, and let's show you the people that protested today in Onitsha, right? Okay, so these are people protesting in Onitsha.
No market on Monday. No market on Monday. Yes, so. No market on Monday. Confirm.
I must, however, commend the governor and the government of Anambra State for something here. Let me point it out. If you look in the front, 1, 2, 3, 4, these were police officers. If you look at the side here, police officer, right? And this is what we've been saying. We are a civil, we are civilized people. People have the right to air their opinion, air their views, as long as they are civil. As long as they do not damage anybody's property, they have the right. So when people came out to protest today, I am happy, as I've been advocating since 2014, 2015, when all this madness started, that when people are to protect, that government has only one duty: to ensure that they protect the protesters, so that hooligans and criminals doesn't join to cause havoc. And watching this and seeing that they were accompanied by police gave me, gladdened my heart that people still have the right to go out and say, "I no agree, I no agree." I mean, that's a civil that's your a civil right. I see police back and forth.
Oh yeah, nah. Yes, nah.
Oh, you can obviously say that, like I said before, the people had a peaceful protest. It is their right, and that is one of the things that no one should be denied of. That someone is aggrieved that their shops were closed, they have the right to protest civilly without damaging and without destroying anything. Now, one of the no, it's not one of the pictures. There is a video where I saw. Hold on. One of the pictures. One of the pictures. I mean, the area was really unkept, but that's not the issue here, people. The bottom line is that it appears people might protest tomorrow again, and if they do, um, and if they do protest tomorrow, though there was at some point some fracas with the security agents, but thank God there was no casualty. I only pray for one thing: that in all this, that issues regarding the main market will be resolved amicably. And I pray, that's my only prayer, that nobody loses their life in all this. I just pray that, it doesn't matter who, it doesn't matter the age, no single individual must and should lose their life in all this. People, I thank you very much for being part of this. I'm glad we brought bringing it to an end. I am still Maazi Ezeoke. Please join me tomorrow morning as I will be interviewing Archbishop Amos Madu, Emeritus Archbishop of Enugu, and I'll be interviewing him 9 o'clock tomorrow morning on this platform. We will continue on our series State of the Igbo Nation, that we are bringing the religious leaders to speak to us on the Igbo World Declaration Day of Adoration and Thanksgiving that is slated for Saturday globally and in the whole Nigeria. So those Ndi Igbo in diaspora are also joining between 9 a.m. and 12 noon on Saturday. I have an interview tomorrow, and also on Thursday, I'll be having two bishops as well that will be speaking to me on this platform. It's been a great pleasure to have you. Tomorrow, Thursday in the morning, I have Most Reverend Sostena says we'll be discussing, the spiritual revival of the Igbo, what God has in in stock for the Igbo and whatnot. Then in the evening, I will have Archbishop Amos Mado, Emeritus Archbishop of Enugu. Then on Friday, I will be having Archbishop David Onoha. It's pumped. Friday, I might have another one. And, on this platform, what we have dedicated ourselves to do is to ensure that we'll bring you the conversations and give you the opportunity to air your view if you so wish. But what we are not going to do is to engage in propaganda and drive wrong narrative. On that note, I say thank you very much. I appreciate if you haven't subscribed to this platform, by all means, please like, share, and subscribe. Let's do everything to support those who have yielded our powers to govern us and to act on our behalf. Let's find a middle ground. It is better to judge all than to war, because when we remember that no war has ever solved any problem until you go to the round table, then I ask, why don't we start with the table, then go into the warfield? Maazi Ezeoke here. Good night from there.